Hey guys, it's Tom Box. Welcome to MST.TV. In today's video, we're going to be talking about NUMERON rulings since they're coming out in Battle of Legends Armageddon. Before we jump into this video, guys, we're going to talk about Comic-Con at Home and the partnered exclusive giveaway that's happening on this channel. Comic-Con at Home is going live at 9 a.m. today. You guys can go check it out. Link in the description. KONAMI will be participating in the exhibit hall, so you guys can check out the virtual exhibit hall at booth number 3713, and you can find some exclusive merch there. And for the Comic-Con prize pack giveaway, we are including a Toon BLS playmat, which is exclusive to Comic-Con. We have 5 packs of the all-new Battle of Legends Armageddon, and you even get 1 tuck box of Legendary Duelist Season 1. To be eligible for this giveaway, you must be a US participant, and since I get to choose how to conduct this giveaway, leave down in the comment section these 3 things. The winner will get their comment pinned. Question number 1, what is your favorite card in Battle of Legends Armageddon? Second of all, what is your best moment playing Yu-Gi-Oh? And third of all, what is KONAMI's booth number at Comic-Con? The winning comment, I will pin it on Sunday, and I'll get your contact information through channel DMs. Back to today's video, we're likely going to see Numerons pop up everywhere because it facilitates the Zexal combo with 1 card. Whether it be Outlich or Subterror, it's going to be within the competitive play scene. So, with that in mind, I don't want you guys to lose to some illegal play shenanigans. So in this video, we're going to emphasize on several parts of the card text that you should be paying attention to, as well as talk about some of the most common illegal plays that you're likely going to see and where they stem from. So we can correct it and not make that same play so that you don't end up like a misplay mic. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a card read with NUMERON Network. NUMERON Network. During your main phase, send 1 NUMERON normal spell card that meets its activation conditions from your deck to your graveyard. This effect becomes that spell's effect when that card is activated. You can only use this effect of NUMERON Network once per turn. And a continuous like effect, NUMERON exceeds monster you control can activate its effects without detaching materials. The first question to answer about this card is, can you use Ash Blossom Joyous Spring versus this card? And the answer to that is no, because the part that sends a spell card to the graveyard, that particular part of the effect is a cost, and therefore, by the time it activates, it's already in the graveyard, and for the rest of the effect resolution, you're merely just mimicking whatever that you just sent into the graveyard, so you cannot use Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. Now, question number 2 is a little bit more complicated because it involves skill drain, and since skill drain is played in Outlich, this is a fairly common scenario where you would have both skill drain and NUMERON Network on the field, as well as activating the effect of NUMERON Network to send your NUMERON Calling to summon out 4 of your monsters, numbers 1 through 4. And with numbers 1 through 4 on the field and with their effect negated, now they can actually be destroyed by battle. However, their cost of detaching is now removed. So what would happen if you destroyed them by battle? And why is this relevant? Because each of these NUMERON monsters, to bring up their card text, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 material from this card, double the attack of all NUMERON monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. Now, since NUMERON Network is on the field, the detaching cost now is completely removed. So what would happen if, say, this card got destroyed by battle because its effect to be not destroyed by battle is negated? Will they be able to activate? The answer to that is no, it cannot activate. Now, this is because of the wording of NUMERON Network. NUMERON exceeds monsters you control can activate effects without detaching materials. Note the fact that the you control is actually crucial to this because the number gate monsters, they activate at the end of the damage steps. Therefore, if your monster actually got destroyed by battle because skill driven is active, then your monster is currently in the graveyard at the end of the damage step. So how can it actually activate? So technically it's no longer a monster you control, and even though it doesn't need to detach material, if it was on the field, if you controlled it, it is no longer in your control, and therefore you can't activate it. It seems like it's a complicated loop around, but that's the reason why. And the reason why this misplay is occurring is because of third-party apps. They don't have it right, and that's why you can't always trust them. Another thing to note about the NUMERON Gate monsters is that the only way to double the attack is if they battle a monster. If they do not battle a monster, their attack will not double, and therefore they won't double, leading to an OTK. So if your board is empty, there's no need to scoop because you're not really going to die. But you're still going to take 4k worth of damage, and if that's enough damage, well, that's GG for you anyway. Here's a little bit of a damage chart of how to actually survive the attacks coming from the NUMERON Gate monsters. With 0 monsters, you're going to take 1,000 direct damage from each of the monsters, so taking a total of 4,000. Now, if you have a 1,000 attack monster on the field and you left it in attack position, you'll still survive but you're going to be at very low life points, taking a total of 6,000 damage. The first swing will break the monster, and the remaining 3 swings will be at 2,000 apiece, doing a total of 6,000 damage. However, if you put the monster in defense position, that is actually going to kill you because now the monster can swing twice. The first monster will attack into it, but your monster will survive, so the second Numeron gate will attack into it, boosting the remaining 2 monsters by an additional 4,000. So you have 2 4,000 to deal with, and since the monster will have been destroyed, you're going to take a total of 8,000 damage. So just the difference between attack and defense position is quite crazy. Next, if your monster has over 1,100 attack points, like an Honest for instance, the first 2 swings will go into the Honest, and the second swing will already deal a little bit of damage, and the remaining 2 monsters from the Numeron gates 3 and 4 will deal another 8,000 damage, dealing over 8,000 damage. Now, here's the range. If you have a monster with 4,000 attack points, you are still going to die. However, you're going to take about 5,000 of self-inflicted damage, because you're just going to trade all the way up into the 4,000 mark, and then you can do the swing. And then the swing will be for 8,000. So you've doubled, and it's lethal at that point. Now, if they put the monster in defense position, however, they will survive, because the monster survived 3 hits, and it's still available, and since it's in defense position, swinging into a 4,000 defense or an 8,000, it doesn't matter, because they're gonna not take any damage, and you will take 5,000 of self-inflicted damage. Yeah, which isn't a very common case, but this is kind of how the math checks out. Now, what if the monster has over 4,000 attack points, 4,500 for a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon? All the monsters will swing into it, and basically there's diminishing returns at this point. You're taking 6,000 of self-inflicted damage in the case of a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and only dealing 3,500 damage in exchange. That's not going to kill anyone. So here's the summary. If you have 2 or more monsters on the field, you're going to get killed, because there's just enough targets. The key point is you want it so that you survive 3 hits. And you don't want to trigger the attack gain more than twice. The attack range between 1,100 and 4,000 in attack position means death. And if you put a monster with 1,000 defense in defense mode, it also means death because they get an extra swing. It's about body management and how many times you trigger off these cards. Next, we got Numeron Calling. Now, if a Numeron Network is in your field zone and you control no monsters, special summon up to 4 Numeron Gate Exceeds monsters with different names from your extra deck, but banish them during the end phase. Also, you can only normal or special summon once for the rest of this turn. So the question is as follows. After I resolve Numeron Calling and I use up my remaining normal or special summon with the special summon of Utopic Zexal, am I allowed to set a card? Normal set in particular. And the answer to that is yes. Yes, you can still normal set because your normal summon or set once per turn has not really been consumed. Rather, you are locked in by the restriction that you can only normal summon or special summon once for the remainder of that turn. But since you special summon, your once per turn set is still available, so you can still set a monster, which is why this is particularly strong with decks like Subterror, where you can set a Subterror Guru and then you activate the field spell to flip it face up, and now you have double negation. You're likely going to be able to resolve Zexal and even protect the activation from getting negated by other cards, which is why this is a very relevant thing. Don't let people say that you can't do it. It's like, oh, you can't normal summon or set because you already burned it. That is not true. You can still set your monster. Just refer to it like Scapegoat. And finally, Numeron Wall. If you control no cards except Numeron Wall, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to activate one Numeron Network directly from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect of Numeron Wall once per turn, and when you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, end the battle phase after the damage step. Okay. So, Numeron Wall's illegal play stems from misreading the card, because the activation condition of Numeron Wall and Numeron Calling are kind of similar in terms of how it's kind of worded out, but Numeron Wall is much more strict. You have to control no cards to activate Numeron Wall to get the field spell out, so that's a pretty big deal compared to Numeron Calling, where you only need to control no monsters. And then you can spam out all your Numeron gates. So the reason why this comes out is because a lot of the decks that are going to be playing Numerons, they're like Eldritch, they're like Subterror. Like with those two decks, you typically have some level of back row, and if when you want to protect your life points using Numeron Wall's other effect where you take battle damage, you can summon him out and end the battle phase. That's a really strong effect. But what I've seen people do is that they activate the effect of Numeron Wall to get the field spell because it was the only monster on the field. But you controlled other cards, which makes the activation illegal. And the scariest part about this particular legal play is that if you're able to successfully resolve Numeron Network afterwards, it's going to be extremely devastating because Numeron Network, for one, with the 4 monsters available, as long as there's a single monster on the field with over 1,100 attack, you can OTK them right through, and you can cause someone to actually pick up their cards. And that is not even a proper game state where you would win. So that's something that you 100% should catch, and make sure that when people activate Numeron Wall's effect to, say, get that field spell straight onto the field, make sure that they have nothing else on the field, and that is crucial. Now that's all I got for this video, guys. Now make sure you guys check out Comic-Con at Home down in the description below. Go check it out, and don't forget to check out Konami's booth, which is number 3713, and maybe you'll find some exclusive merch right there, or perhaps even find some very interesting info that is only available at Comic-Con. So that is all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget there is a giveaway going on mentioned earlier in this video. Leave it down in the comment section and the winner will get pinned. All right, guys, and that's all I got for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.